look at that.
I like Hot Times with Men.
I'm not going to start singing Eminem, but guess who's back? Back again.
I think this is my
Sammy's
least favorite
back.
part of being out.
Tell a friend.
Is when you tell me he's back.
You could have is that little. What was the he's back?
Yeah.
What's that?
The Shining.
Yeah, you mean Jack Nicholson when?
No, not that one. Anyway,
no, it's not The Shining. It's the other. It's like Poltergeist.
Poltergeist. Thank you. Yep. Oh, I was thinking about him sticking his head out the wall.
The axe.
Yeah. Well, he's back. We have a show. And we have shows every day until the Stars play again on the 25th. So here we go. DLS Stars Podcast.
Listen to this one, motherfucker. Do we have that recorded?
Yeah, I think we probably do. This is the DLLS Stars Podcast, and oh boy, it's a good thing that wasn't on the air.
Oh, I'm sure it will be somehow.
Craig Ludwig, Sam Nessler,
just an anatomy
producer Ryan Vaughters. I'm Owen Newkirk. It is Thursday, February 5th. Before we get into the show and all the things we're not allowed to say on a broadcast, let's talk
but
about.
But if you're a member, what's it called?
Oh, you're talking about the Die Hard.
See, they could
or the Supporters Club.
That thing
with the Luds unedited.
Well, that was unedited.
The blooper reel. Yeah,
that wasn't a blooper.
Have you seen it yet?
Oh, yes, I did. I watched it in the car as I was going to practice the other day.
I
actually laughed at a couple of them.
So here's the thing. If you haven't, we'll talk more about Supporters Club during that ad break. If you haven't seen it yet, it's Ryan put together a compilation of some of Luds' greatest hits while he's trying to record ads and some gags, bloopers, that kind of thing. I was there for, I think, all of them. So I've seen them before, and when I watched that video, I still laughed.
How long, Ryan, how long does that take you to put that thing together like that? Half an hour? I don't know.
Before we get into today's show,
it took me about
in the middle of it.
15 seconds.
That's a personal choice.
Just start tearing into Tanner.
Yeah,
poor Tanner. Let's remind everybody: Big Game Week Die Hard sale on right now, 60% off the regular Die Hard annual membership rate. If you are a new Die Hard,
I like the graphic.
It is a big deal this week because, of course, the big game. As Luds was asking about what the different ways of saying Super Bowl without saying Super Bowl. It is the best big game coverage. Cowboy show is out there in San Francisco. Sam, I'm guessing that you'd have been able to figure that out based on the pictures and graphics.
Yeah, 925 right here.
There you go. See?
Born up there.
So Sam knows the Bay Area.
Yep.
Check it out. It is a great deal. Scan the QR code. Become a Die Hard today. You get a free T-shirt with your first year as well. So, all right. Today,
area code.
Sam's got a tattoo of his. Was that your birth?
Yeah.
Area?
Pleasanton. Yep.
925.
925.
Nice. You want to show everybody?
Do you still live there?
I still live there. Yeah.
I'll say.
You sure you want to?
Why?
He doesn't live there. He lives here.
I don't live there.
That's why I asked you if you still.
No, that's in San Francisco.
Yeah, I know, but do you still have a place there?
Do you think I have a place there?
I don't know. I'm wondering.
I barely have a place here.
That's true. He just got some decorations.
My family is not here. We moved when I was like 8 to New Jersey.
And then,
but there's good news.
Coasts.
I have you heard you have visitors too.
Oh, I do have a new visitor today. Yeah,
that's good for you.
First family member to meet the new puppy is Katie's mom.
There you go.
Tonight to do some.
Not yet.
No, tonight to do some wedding dress shopping. I am not invited.
Do you want to air your grievances about wedding preparation
No.
and planning with the show? No. Because I think we'd find that maybe we should do a supporters club video of you
yes.
because that would be. Let me tell you, Sam is learning very quickly what we've gone through before about the joys of those plans.
To Katie, Nestlers, and the Hadleys. Don't listen.
That sounds like
don't
the
listen.
Hatfields
Don't
and the
listen to
McCoys.
him. Don't listen to him. He's lying.
What is this? The Jets and the Sharks? Okay. We're not going to do West Side Story humor all day, but we are going to talk about the Olympic break and the Stars winning 6 in a row going into it. Now, Sam, you haven't been on the show for a few days, so we are excited to get caught up with you, and we're going to do a segment coming up called Sam's Sentiments. It'll be like Sean's 2 cents, but I really want to call it amalgamations just to make you say the shirt.
I wouldn't have been able to say it.
Yeah, that's right, which is why we were going to do that. But anyway, the thing that Luds and I talked about post-game last night really started to come in the last 4 or 5 games, 6 now for this winning streak, is that line of Matt Duchene, Jamie Benn, and Sam Steele. Yes, the one that everybody was complaining about, Sam Steele being on the top line, is now a interesting and I think a productive cog on the third line. But that's probably where he should be right now on a good team like this. But the overarching sentiment, if you will, is suddenly the Stars have a third line that can score. And they didn't have this, the entire season this year.
Yeah.
Last year, 3+ lines, right? When Todorov was down on that fourth line, you were like, wow, you got 4 lines that can score. Right now, they actually have threats on 3 forward line. Nothing against the fourth line. They go in on their bang bodies, but you're not necessarily going there going, well, we need you guys to score. It's great when they do.
Yep.
But I think they actually have some offensive depth, at least right now, when they're with Duchene and Benn playing well.
Yeah, that's the key. We talked about Duchene a bunch. I know Sean cursing him in the right way was a big topic on our show. But
turning point of the season.
Yeah, I mean, he has 6 goals in 6 games since that point, I think. So
Yep.
I think we knew that. We knew Duchene was important, whether that was going to be him getting going because he was playing on a wing with top winger or top players, or whether it was going to be him finding his game enough to be able to add that third line. That was what we all wanted. That's what the fans want, is Duchene to be in a spot where they have depth. They can roll out their 3-4 centers in a row and have enough around for that. Duchene can do some offense, and the top line can do some damage, and they can have a little bit of a mix here and there. I think that we didn't necessarily know how much Benn having a little bit of offense could affect this team. I mean, we knew, hey, Benn, you score 5-10 goals, it's going to be great. We know your role kind of now, but seeing him play the way he's playing is important for 2 reasons. One, they need it desperately. They needed to add another layer. They had 5 guys going in the forward group, and really like 1, maybe 2 on the blue line that were kind of working throughout this process here. A lot of that has picked up, which we'll keep talking about here in the next couple of segments. But the thing with Benn is he's playing to a style that he can keep up with. He's not going coast to coast and flying around, and it's like, oh, it's 2 games. He was on drugs or something, and he's going to come back to 0. He's finding a way to have an impact playing the style that he can play now with his current skating speed. He looks a little more confident. We've mentioned confident over and over again with Duchene. Having those 2 start to have an impact makes this team 10 times more dangerous. And on top of that, going into the break now, we know they're not making any moves before the break because the freeze is on.
Yep.
It also puts a little more of a question mark on what do you really need? Okay, if Matt Duchene is going to be this guy, maybe we don't as desperately need that big winger on the left side that we thought, maybe like Panarin, that we thought it might be. Maybe a Blake Coleman and someone else can fit in.
Or do you think they maybe only need 1 instead of 2?
Instead of 2. Basically, it eliminates your need for, wow, we need a lot of help, to, hey, we could put a piece or 2 in here and kind of make things work. And I think that is the reason Nil waited, was to see, number 1, injuries. Number 2, injuries at the tournament. Number 3, what do our guys look like right now?
Yep.
Is Matt Duchene cooked, as Sean said?
The dude is cooked right now.
Is he still like that going into this break? Because I think that's a very different outlook for Jim Nil if he is. Can Jamie Benn be a little bit more effective? That's a different outlook. Can Thomas Harley kind of start to find it? He has. It's just changed a little bit of the way that I look at the team, and I think the way that Jim Nil looks at his team right now.
Luds, I want to read you this quote. I don't know if you saw Matt Duchene's post-game last night. He said on playing with Jamie Benn, I've been telling him, this is Matt Duchene's words, I've been telling Jamie nonstop how well he's playing. He's got some swagger in his game. He's a heck of a player, and he's shown it throughout his career, and he's still got a lot of game in him. He's been awesome to play with. It's been really fun.
Well, I would. There's a few things there. Of course, Matt likes playing with Jamie Benn. Like, it's kind of like why guys playing with Darian Hatcher. Like, Big Daddy's there.
Yeah.
Big Daddy's next to you. So these guys go about their business differently than the top 2 lines. And I think because of Steele and Jamie, Matt benefits because they create spots. They create holes. They create rebounds. They play more direct as an opponent, and coaches and they're going to be talking about, hey, when you play against the Duchene line, it's not like playing against the Rantanen line. It's not like playing against Robo. because they're a little bit more like this and they curl back. These guys are straight line players, and when Jamie and Steele want to take pucks to the net, kind of like when Tyler was playing. So the Tyler Duchene Marchment, totally different than that one.
Completely different.
Because Marchment started out like that, but then he kind of got into the groove where he was the dipsy do and pull it back. And
joined right in on that,
and it worked for them. But these guys have, and I'm not talking about Matt. I'm talking about the other two guys. They're staying true to their identity. Yeah. You know, and when Jamie was in his prime, he had some moves. You know, but even then, he's more of a. You know, I don't want to say
he's a bulldozer.
Yeah, well,
in a very skilled way.
I always seem to use Brendan Morrow for an. I don't know if that's the correct one, but they're both kind of guys.
Well, he's got a little bit more punch. He's bigger than Morrow is. Morrow played way bigger than his.
Well, that's why Brendan's
stature.
career didn't last as long.
Yeah.
Because he
played a punishing style.
He went into places he didn't have any right going into, but he did for his teammates. Yep. So, but you know, Jamie still has he still has a good shot. We know that, but on the other side of that, he still has a reputation. And so he gets some little extra space that comes with his reputation, and that buys him another second every once in a while. And even though he's not that guy from before, but he can be that guy. He's willing. He's knocked on a couple doors. And he didn't have a couple takers. But I think that Matt benefits from that. So when Matt played with Tyler, he was always gravitating over the side, and then Tyler could read off of him. Here it's a little different because when Jamie has the puck, we've seen a couple times now where Jamie will come down the right side. And again, bonus for him. He's a left shot from there. You give him a little bit too much room as a defenseman. Now the shooting angle's better. But Jamie does a lot of those drop passes. And he just runs through the first guy.
That, right?
And now Matt comes in behind him. And then Matt can free up what he likes to do.
With that space.
But then Matt is also understanding that Matt's not staying outside when those two guys take pucks to the net. He's getting a little bit closer to the net because he knows there's garbage laying around there. And he's quick enough, and he can still find those holes, and he's taking advantage of what those two guys bring, and they're taking advantage of what Matt does too.
So I was thinking about this as we were contemplating this last night, and again this morning. I made that hook short before Sean did his rant, saying the biggest, priority for the Stars right now is figuring out a way to get Matt Duchene going, and I believe that. And now that he's going, you can see the difference. But I also didn't say the biggest priority was you need to get Jamie Benn going. And I think the reason is that even though they're only a year apart in age, I think we've seen, not to be, inconsiderate, but I think we've seen a little bit sharper decline in Jamie's production than we have when Matt had 80 points last year and 30 goals, right? So he was a point-a-game guy. But that's why this sudden sort of chemistry between Duchene, Benn, and Steele is kind of like unaccounted for riches, or let's discover some buried treasure, because I think I was almost resigned to the fact that this was what Jamie Benn was. And the quote he had last night, because Jamie's not exactly the most overwhelmingly entertaining post-game media interview, but he did say this: we're just trying to do our part. He's talking about playing with Duchene. I think we both had more to give for this group. He said, speak for myself, but I wasn't playing very good hockey for a little bit there. Then I got put with Sam Steele, and we found some chemistry. When he said I wasn't playing very good hockey for a bit, Sam, we were saying, I'm not counting on him to put up offense.
Yeah.
And now suddenly maybe we should be counting on him.
Yeah, you were right. The way you said it was perfect about how Duchene needed to find his way. This team was in a very bad place if Duchene didn't, because they already have holes. Duchene being another one would just be a huge blow to their offense. But Benn was kind of like, if he gets 10, that's awesome.
Bonus.
Your fourth line.
Yeah.
He gets 8, he gets 10. He's your physical guy. He can move up when you need him with injuries. But I don't know if anyone thought that he had a little more offense in him. And I'm not saying he's going to go out and score 20 goals now over the last stretch here. But like I said before, seeing the way he's playing the game gives you a little bit of hope of, okay, maybe that could be a real option where you don't want Jamie Benn as your fourth liner. You actually want him on your third line with whoever that is, Duchene, Benn, blank. Maybe they upgrade there.
You were out on Monday. I was talking with Robert after the morning skate, and he had a really interesting thought of, I don't think you want Jamie Benn on your fourth line. And I said it to Luds because he kind of falls into the mold of what you're looking for on that line.
Yeah.
Right? And Jamie's better than that. He has the skills to play, as we've been talking about. But fourth liners are expected to go out there and get to, the point of attack on a forecheck, crash, and very straight lines. Well, playing with Matt Duchene, that brings out a different skill set, and that's probably something you should be doing with Jamie Benn.
Yeah, and one thing I'll say that goes with all this, and I'm gonna carry this over into our next segment as well, is I'm starting to. I don't think this team is perfect by any means. I think all the things we've said about them have been accurate. When they get in trouble, even now during their streak, when they get in trouble, they fall back into the same sort of habits that put them in trouble. It's the same way they've given up leads in the third and all that kind of stuff. But what I have noticed is a belief that when you're losing, it's really hard to just be like, God, why are they not overreacting to this? That they're losing 4 in a row. Why do they seem so calm? But now when you look back and they're starting to put a few of those things together, they really have bought in this team. To the Glenn Golitzin effect, to the let the process and let the plan take over time. Don't think that we need to be perfect at game 30. Really let it sink in. Let's make sure we get Jamie Benn. We just forget sometimes all the intricacies of the game, where you have Jamie Benn still he's not 3 months off of his,
same with
his
Duchene.
injury.
Duchene said, he goes, what if I played about a third of my season?
He's still dealing with it. Thomas Harley had all this stuff going on in the early season, plus you have the Olympics in there, plus you had the slump, plus you have the schedule that everyone around the league has already said, I don't know how these guys play as hard as they do on a given night. This is a crazy schedule. So part of me just thinks this team is bought in. They're going over. We'll talk about Hryckowian next segment of what he said, but they're going into those areas that we really wanted them to go into, and they're starting to believe that the steps are going to happen, and it's not going to be something where it has to overhaul everything after the break. Yep. It's going to be something that develops, and I'm interested to see if that's really the truth. That's
an interesting line. Luds, I want to ask you a question about Jamie Benn and Matt Duchene and their relationship, and we'll talk about that right after the ad break here on the DLLS Stars podcast.
We are still early into 2026, and there's still plenty of time to get your finances on track. I'm talking to you, and I'm also talking to me. One of my financial goals this year is to build up my investments and savings. Like most people, I want to try to not spend as much, maybe try to save a little bit and put some away for some houses and some trips and cool things like that for someone who's getting married soon. Set yourself up for financial success this year. Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool designed to make your life easier. I use Monarch, as I just said, to track my spending, look at my things like debt, things like investments. You got it all laid out. It's super easy, and it allows me to take the right steps without too much thinking, which is probably a good thing. So set yourself up for financial success in 2026 with Monarch, the all-in-one tool that makes proactive money management simple all year long. Use code DLS at monarch.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code DLLS.
Wild Fork Foods is the place to go for all of your grocery needs, especially meats, seafoods, but it's not just that. Now, I'll talk about it in a minute, but they also have side dishes, they have breads, they have mac and cheese, they have the best desserts. I'm a sweet tooth. Of course, their main attraction is they are a wonderful meat and seafood market. They blast freeze everything, which some people might say, well, why not fresh? Because actually it's fresher this way. It doesn't degrade because of their freezing process. Actually, all their meat is well maintained. So when you're ready to thaw and cook it, by the way, did I tell you that they have experts that can show you exactly how to do all of that stuff? But it doesn't get that freezer burn that you might get if you buy something fresh, then throw it in the freezer right before the expiration date. We're talking about high quality, everything, and at great prices. So check them out where frozen is fresher at Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market at one of their 9 area DFW locations, or log on to their website, wildforkfoods.com.
Way to put the little clips in the middle of it, or no?
That's a personal choice.
You got to turn that up again because we turned it down to talk to us, Ryan, and then we couldn't hear it. I know, it was for the fans, but we like to hear the drops too, because Luds probably didn't even know that you just played the drop.
Way to put
you could turn up to
the
10,
little
I'm probably not
clips in the middle of it, or no?
That's a personal choice.
Oh, yeah.
That was your moose knuckle comment the other month or so. All right, before we get to Sam's sentiments, I want to ask Luds this about Matt, because we know that Matt Duchene he's in his head a lot, right? He thinks the game at a high level, but he also deals with, his own, it's the mental. I think he he needs reassurance sometimes. I think he needs to be reminded how good he is, even though he is really good. I think top players, you and I were talking about this the other day, deal with crisis of confidence more than guys that are maybe just, hey, straight line guys, because they're expected to be good. Even though we all go, wow, you're so good. Why would you have issues with confidence? When Duchene said last night, and I read you that quote, I've been telling him, talking about Jamie Benn, nonstop how well he's playing. He had told me a couple days ago, Duchene had told me that Jamie is really hard on himself. And we don't see it a lot because he's kind of like a stone wall facade, right? A lot of times he's just big, tough, mean, has that big stare down. When Hryckowian last night was involved, when Rantanen was cross-checking people in front of the net and taking penalties, Jamie had scored, right? But he was on the bench. Did you see the camera?
Yeah.
And it's like right to his face, and he's just glaring like,
furious.
You want me to get in on that? I'm ready for you. But Luds, for Matt Duchene, knowing that he needs encouragement and people to say, hey, you're doing well, you're playing well, you've got, being positive. I wonder if that's a really good thing for him to pay that forward to Jamie Benn.
Well, yeah, and it's good for Matt because the better Jamie plays, the better numbers come up for Matt.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you pat your guy on the butt every once in a while? So, yeah, I think that with Jamie, he's been a very he's a player that 10 years ago, what team wouldn't want Jamie Benn? You know what I'm saying? Like, So Jamie has a reputation, and he knows what his reputation is, and he's just trying to live up to it as long as he possibly can, which very rarely happens with anybody in this league in particular. There are the rare ones. Number 87 in Pittsburgh can do that, and the other guy that's in Pittsburgh, Mario.
The normal trajectory is as you age, it starts. Father time catches up to everybody.
Yeah, and it's caught up to Jamie in certain areas of his game, and I think Jamie, and that's my thing about him is, to put him down on a fourth line, Jamie's probably not going to say anything about it. He's just going to go about his business, but he's not happy about it because he knows he's got more to give, and now he's actually proving it. But he's found for Matt and Jamie and Steele or whoever ends up going over there, especially for the older guys, you're honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. That I don't think Matt Duchene expects himself to be a 40-plus goal scorer the rest of his career. Yeah. But if he can get into the 20s and 30s, I think that's a great. And he wants to. And I think the big thing about Matt Duchene, he wants to live up to the contract. He's a guy that. He's made a ton of money, right? And he's lived up to his contract everywhere he's pretty much been. So I think for those kind of players, and there's other players in the game and that sign these big contracts, and all of a sudden, the only place you can find them is on a milk carton. And you kind of wonder, what is that all about? Mm-hmm. How can you even do that? That's not who these guys are. And I think that it's part of the MO of Jim Nill. Like, he goes out and he brings in Matt Duchene because he's exactly what you guys are saying he is. He's a character guy that we think is going to fit in our room. Maybe it's something that we need in our room. And for a long time around here, they've tried to bring in a few guys here that they needed in the room, and they didn't turn out to be what they thought they were. But I do think that the group has changed as a whole from some of the players and people that I'm talking about in the past. And so, but these guys, especially for Jamie and Matt, they have a common goal. They haven't won the big one.
They are chasing glory.
So don't think that they don't discuss that themselves. And more importantly, don't think that the rest of the group doesn't know how important that is to them. And that's why it's important.
It's ironic because earlier in Matt Duchene's career, and probably stemmed from him asking for a trade out of Colorado when he was a younger player, there was this reputation that followed him, whether it was fair or not, that he was not a good teammate, that he wouldn't be good for a locker room.
I think he cared about numbers too much there.
Perhaps.
His stats.
Well, and again, he was a top draft pick. Sam, what was he overall? Was he wasn't 1-1, was he? He was third overall in 2009.
Yep.
And he was brought in at an extremely young age to carry a huge weight for a bad team at that time. Colorado wasn't what it is now. And that's a lot to ask for a teenager.
Connor Bedard kind of fits in that same kind of category. Now it's taken him a few years to go, hey, I'm just going to be me. Now he's really good.
And imagine if Connor Bedard, after another year or two, said, I can't win here. I want to go. Then people would start to I'm sure there'd be some backstabbing and whatever. What my point on this is, Matt Duchene has been nothing but a model citizen since he's come to Dallas. Now, it may be with age and maturity, or maybe some of that reputation was unfair and just followed him, even though, a matter of circumstance or whatever. But when we talk to him, he's nothing if not an interesting and engaging person. He clearly cares a lot. But when you say he's really good for that room, there was a time where I think the sentiment was a guy like Matt Duchene would be bad for your room. And
but
that's not anywhere near that.
But
now.
what good general managers do is I've told this before. It's happened with us, and there were certain players that they wanted to bring into the room, but we knew who they were. We knew their personalities, and with the group that we had, I had said about there's not one player out there that we can't handle just because of your leadership core. Because you have your guys that wear the letters, right? But that's not where Hitch and Bo wanted. That is that the leadership group needed to grow, and so there was 5 of us. Then it needed to get to 8. Then it needed to get to 10 or 12. And then you're never going to get all 22, 24 in there. Yep. You're not. But that's okay. You have enough of them, and you have enough to where the other 3 or 4, whatever it may be, their voices don't matter what they say anymore because they can't go up against the rest of them. So they ultimately buy in as much as they can. Mm-hmm. And you don't really want them to just buy in to buy in. You still want them to be who they are. Yes. That's what it is. But so I just think from those guys, I mean, I look at, you have Tyler Seguin, you have Matt Duchene, you have Jamie Benn. You have some guys there that got some miles on them that are all committed. Tyler's got a cup, but Tyler's not satisfied with having a cup.
No, he said it even that he feels like he didn't even win it.
That's what happens is when you're 19 years old and you really don't know.
12 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was also healthy scratch during some of those playoff games in the 2011 run.
He's 19.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 13, 14 years for him.
That's crazy.
Because I know, and I remember comparing that last year because I had said, because last year I thought that was a good year for Dallas. Because I had said, Tyler's in the same spot I was for a long time.
Yes.
And it was the 13 years in between where you don't think you're going to do it. Then all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're going, Neuendijk, Zubov, now Brett Hull. And you're like, maybe. And then you go on this run, you're like, oh yeah. And then you really actually truly believe that it can happen again. So I just think that's where I think this group believes that, but they have to ultimately.
I think they believed it last year too.
And it's crazy looking at
it didn't work.
I don't have all the teams in front of me, but just looking at some of the guys we're talking about that haven't even played, like Duchene's hasn't even played in a final. Nope. And Benn's played in what, one?
Yeah, the 2020 bubble final. Yep.
Half this team has been, either not played that far because they were on worse teams or just not gotten that far. The Western Conference final with the Stars has been their final. I mean, how many times do you look back over and over and over? We're getting off topic, but
it's okay.
You have to go through the adversity.
Yeah, lots of shows
they're going through it right now. They went through it before this little streak here. I just believe a lot of this stuff builds up, and at some point, you have to get over that hump. And I think they believe they can.
And with all of that, you can believe into all of this stuff, and there's so many variables, and there's so many things that can happen. What happened is a super important player goes down. And then you go.
98.
I mean, there's plenty of guys who've never won.
When you guys thought you probably thought you were going to win in 98, and then Joe Neuendijk's knee injury, right? Super important player goes down. I'm not saying that your team wasn't good enough to hold that up, but that was it. I mean, if you had Nui, you win 98, maybe. Right?
To be honest with you, I don't think that ever came up. I didn't think it.
Right.
And it's only because we believed in the whole group.
But looking back,
but that's what good GMs and management do is they build a group, a team, so that when that player, you have to take that into account. Like if this player, we have 4 or 5 of these guys. If one of those guys goes down, we have enough here to carry it through.
Yes.
So that's why you can't just say, we're going to add this guy. You have to have a group of guys that believe like we're way better with this guy in the lineup.
Let's play that exercise. So 2016, Stars were a great team. Maybe the goaltending wasn't great in the playoffs. The regular season,
that's a pretty important position.
But if Tyler Seguin doesn't have the Achilles cut and then tries to come back in the first round against Minnesota and has the calf injury and he's out, if Tyler Seguin's available for 2016, they might have beaten the Blues in the second round. They would have faced the Sharks probably in the third round because the Sharks went to the final. I believe they would have gotten to play the Penguins.
See, that's why
maybe they win.
That's why part of this stuff of what coaches and gullies doing, especially here, because we're going, man, now this guy's with that guy, this guy's with this guy, and then he gives you a batch of games playing, like let's talk about Ritskovian or Steele, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Somebody goes down and you say, you know what? We go back and we went, man, there was 11 games here that so-and-so played with these two guys.
Yep.
And here's what our record was. Here's what their analytics said. Boom, there we go. We plug it in. You don't just sit on it. And, and again, you're Edmonton, you have two guys. That you can move them guys around however you want. And generally they can get it done. But I think that's not the norm when you got two special players like that. So I think that's part of the process. Is they always talk about the process of we plan on it all going right, but we're still knowing that there's this thing around the corner. And if it doesn't happen, awesome. That's what I always say. Got to have at least 10 defensemen because you're going to lose 2 or 3.
I was going to say, because a couple years, it's probably like 10 years ago now, Jim Nilt traded at the deadline for Taylor Fedun and Ben Lovejoy. And I remember going, like, I knew I was familiar with both players from my AHL days. And I went, you already have like 8 defensemen. Why do you need 2 more? And they used them. I think that was the year Dilling Hetherington got games in the playoffs.
Yep.
Like, you just can't have too many of those things. And go to the 2020 bubble final. If Rope Hintz isn't hurt, if Blake Como wasn't hurt, because Como was trying desperately to be in that game. If Radek Fox, look,
Hintz has come such a long way from then because I remember the game that he didn't play. We were with our U18 team in Nashville, and I'm like, wait a second, this game
in the final, right?
He was out for
and he's not playing. Yeah. Like, how
he missed Game 7 against the Flames.
I know
after that too.
And I'm like, there's lots of ways you can play. I don't recommend him anymore, but there's lots of ways that you can play. Now he's come a long way because I'm watching him go down and come back in the game and take a shot and go right back to the front of the net,
playing a different way.
So
is he maturing right in front of your eyes?
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100. And that this year, just the first year I've said it.
Yes,
because
last year you were still on his case.
Last year when he took that chop on the foot from Bouchard, that Norris Trophy guy, Bouchard.
That was after Nurse did the initial chop.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a second. I don't want to get off on the Bouchard thing. So, anyway, but now he doesn't do that. Now he takes it, and I'm like, that's what we need right there.
I think. To wrap it all up, this team wins back-to-back Stanley Cups if Craig Ludwig plays in 2000 season.
No, it's all on Luddy again.
Craig Ludwig stayed for one more year.
If he comes back in January,
or if he came back
Bob Gainey
out of shape and hadn't skated
that
in 6
was
months.
all strictly about not embarrassing my kids. That was what that was all about.
We have at least 2 more segments, so there's no need to necessarily get NHL news and notes in. So Sam's sentiments will not be cut short.
I don't have that many sentiments.
We'll get to that next here on the DLS Stars podcast. But live reads first.
He's going to point it out.
It's going to happen.
There you go.
Whoosh.
We're still on, Ryan.
Well, see, I'm getting ready to say something, Ryan, and it looks like we're still on.
Are
we doing the live read thing?
Oh, it's a live read.
Oh, see, we didn't know that. Are you part of this?
I don't know.
Is this Sam and I?
Yes.
Oh,
well,
what are we talking about?
I think Otter left at 6 a.m. this morning, by the way. So Otter's halfway to Italy right now.
He's walking tomorrow.
He's swimming.
The Otter has swam away. So there's the Ottinger shirt. We're all sitting on pins and needles to see who's going to be who when it comes to the main games here in Italy. And let's pull up the Jamie shirt since we've been talking about Jamie Benn. I don't even know. I think we've talked about Jamie enough. And then let's go right to the hoodie. Let's go to the hoodie. Oh, and we're going to, after this, I'm just foreshadowing. Owen wants to go with the 16-bit shirt. But there's the Finnish Mafia. We'll see how those cats do. With all the guys we're talking about, they're going over there. All we hope is they all come back healthy.
Yeah, healthy.
Whether I hope they all can win a gold medal. They can't, but just come back healthy.
Maybe somebody can win a bronze.
And can you quick pull up the Wyatt shirt? Let's just get that one on there for Owen. There's the Wyatt Johnston shirt. I don't think he's going to get the call because I think we're kind of at the 11th hour. But
we have one more. We have one more thing to learn.
Can something happen over there?
Yes.
And then they can still fly him in?
Yep.
He's sitting on a beach in Bahamas?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anytime during the tournament?
They're not bringing any extras.
Anytime during the tournament?
I believe so.
I think it's the same as Four Nations. I think you can get any emergency call-ups.
Got to hurry, Sam.
It's a lot longer flight. I'm going to talk about this supporters club because that's what we were going to do. I saw it on the schedule and I was prepared for it.
Get ready for the supporters club marriage planning wedding video.
I'm excited. I haven't been part of these videos because they've been mostly about Luds, which is how it should be. But supporters club, you get the exclusive badges for Harry, who was great he made Harry last weekend, and the exclusive emojis like all the cool Luds ones, Stanley Cohn, as well as the behind the scenes videos. So you can watch Craig Ludwig swear at the top of his lungs for 4 minutes straight or 7 minutes straight, whatever it is. Join the Supporters Club right now.
All right, let's talk to Sam. We've been talking to Sam the whole time so far, but you're back. You missed a couple days. We're glad you're feeling better, and we'll see. Hopefully that continues for the next few weeks, especially because Luds is going to be remote after Friday.
I'm going with him.
Are you?
Yep.
Oh, wouldn't that be a treat?
Is he going to be the little stuffed animal you tie to the front of the sled?
Or, well, we tie him to the back of the sled.
I like to get on the skis back there.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you want to
Okay.
you want to be
that?
like water ski tow rope?
Yeah.
The trails
Or
up there,
right into the
are
trees?
through the trees, and they're about
Oh,
as
yeah.
wide as from here to Ryan's.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is.
I can swing in.
There's never been barbed wire in the woods in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, there is.
Okay, but let's. You haven't been around for the last couple of games. I know you've been still watching, but let's start with that 6-game win streak, including the last 2 at home against Winnipeg and, of course, against St. Louis. Dramatic late winners. Yes, I know that sometimes does overshines performances or whatever, but I always get excited when teams are finding ways to win, even if it's creating drama because of things they're doing wrong.
And the difference for me lately than it was early in the season is that they're not playing well for 5 minutes and finding a way to win. They've had some collapses in the third period. They've had some bad stretches, but they've outplayed their opponents for the most part over big chunks of these games when they've won these games. So they're finding ways to get into the little bit of trouble. But what I was saying before in the earlier part is when they do get into trouble, it's not just losing their game completely. It's just trying to do the things that got them in trouble in the earlier part of the season. I look at almost every goal that have been scored against when they've had these leads in the third period is a turnover up the ice. Almost every one of them. There's a turnover at the offensive blue line. It comes back the other way. They either score on the rush or they score after getting them stuck in their end a little bit, or it's just a mistake. Thomas Harley. I know the Harley hitting off the official was kind of an unlucky bounce, but it's a play that he doesn't make. It goes right to them in the slot against, I think it was St. Louis the first time, and they get the goal to tie it and almost force overtime. I feel for St. Louis a little bit. Because they're nowhere near the playoff bubble, so it's almost like just give them a point. Just let them feel a little better because they played good games. But
I understand the sentiment, but I'm going to fight that because St. Louis is in your division, and they have won a Stanley Cup in this era,
and they beat you.
In a couple of huge second rounds. So
Fair.
I would venture to guess that most Dallas Stars fans have little love lost or sympathy,
especially with Binnington still
for
in
the
net.
Blues right now.
Speaking of Binnington still in net, Jamie Benn with the throwback. I should have sent Ryan pictures of both of those. That would have been smart. Jamie Benn throwback with the wraparound last night.
Oh, you couldn't help but
it
notice
was
that,
almost
right?
exactly the same. He still didn't come out an extra step, and he hooked it a little bit, and Binnington got a piece of it. Yep. Suter got a piece of it. Bennington, as he got it with his pad earlier in 2019. And
as we're sitting there with where you would normally be, Robert's next to me going, Jay Bolmeister. That's a Jay Bolmeister poke check right there.
So for me, though, the interesting part with the Stars, I mentioned the word buy-in in the first segment. I think you're starting to see it more and more, and you're starting to hear it more and more. Like the coaching staff, preached it. The coaches are saying the right things. You're starting to hear players like Maverick Bourque say, we talked about we weren't playing as good as we could play. We'd have a stretch, and we know, hey, that's how we can play when we do this. And then the big wake-up call was the 2 games where they got out hit, 40-13 or whatever it was.
In St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Yeah.
And then what was the one after that? Or
right,
before that?
They
got out hit again really bad.
St. Louis at home.
Yeah, whatever.
They played a home and home
it
with
was
St.
the
Louis.
2 St. Louis games. So they get out hit big time. They still find ways to win the games, but they didn't like the way they were playing. Since that point, I've just seen an extra step. And I bring up Hryckowian because, first of all, I loved his interview with you guys. I thought it was awesome.
That must have killed you to not be here for
it was a bummer.
That's your guy.
Thanks for getting one question, one of my things in there.
No, we got some other stuff. I just didn't call you out for it because it was the
college
same.
one.
Yeah, you had to.
But
did you like Jake's answer from yesterday?
Yeah, it's funny.
So in case you missed it in the pregame show last night, I told Luds that there was not a bet payoff actually paid off on what's today, Thursday. So Wednesday night, Jake Ottinger did not make Hryckowian wear what he was going to, which is a Boston University Terriers tracksuit. And then Jake goes, but it wouldn't even work because he goes, he's a medium, and Jake's 6'6", 6'7", and he's huge. And we go, no, that would be even better because that would be like Sam trying to wear Ludz's stuff where it would just look like you got into your dad's clothes.
Yeah, be baggy.
It would be hilarious.
He didn't make him do it because it was a shootout.
Yeah.
Which I think is so silly in those tournaments that they go to shootouts.
Jake said one semifinal he didn't play until 9 or 9:30 at night because the first one went to double overtime. And so they had to sit around and wait. And he goes, that sucks to have to wait around, but he goes, that's way better than
you don't want
deciding
that,
those in a shootout.
This is a big deal for those schools. This is not just a small little
Yeah,
tournament.
the Bean
that
Pot
cares about.
in Boston is a huge college tournament.
Yeah. But Hryckowian talked about a couple things. One was his face-offs he was talking about, right? You guys were asking about, I think Lutz was asking about his face-offs, how he's been very overwhelmingly good compared to a lot of rookies with his face-offs. And he said something like, I was told by a lot of people that if you just go into face-offs with your full effort and your full energy.
This was from Rod Brindamore.
Yeah, from Brindamore, that's right. With your full effort and your full energy and you put it all out there, you're going to get a bounce more often than not. Mm-hmm. And I think that's such a simple answer, right? Like, go in with 100%. But it's so true. And Lutz talks about players like Mikko coming in and looking like he just wins a face-off totally clean. You're like, how does he do that against a center? He just comes in and says, I'm not going to lose this puck from you.
Jamie Benn
does the same thing. And Hryckowian does that in every part of his game.
Hey, Lutz, if you were to name me a center iceman that you think is dominant in the face-offs from the last 20 years.
Carolina.
Jordan Staal.
Yep.
Right? Okay. So, Sam, do you remember the stat we were talking about? Right? Because I was originally going to use Rod Brindamore's numbers because Brindamore is a well-known, very good
Ryan O'Reilly.
The problem with Brindamore is that his first year in the NHL, 1989-90, they weren't tracking face-off wins. So that didn't come in until 97-98. He's already almost 10 years into his career. Yeah. But I wanted to compare so you want to do O'Reilly or Jordan Staal? Who'd you like to?
Probably O'Reilly.
Okay, so we'll look up Ryan O'Reilly because I was thinking about Patrice Bergeron because I think he's.
Yeah. I thought you meant somebody that's actually playing today.
No, it doesn't matter. Anybody that's played within the era of which they've tracked that, right? So let's look at Ryan O'Reilly. 09-10 first
Bob
year.
Basson, because he's calling me right now.
I bet he is.
Bass was a little Wolverine face-off circle. But anyway.
So Ryan O'Reilly is a 55.6% face-off win percentage in his career. 1,200 games, 1,208 and counting. Okay, statistically anywhere from 52 to 62 in most years, mostly in the upper 50s. His rookie season with the Avalanche, 47.8%. Right, that's normal. Then he was 51.8 the second year, and it was.
Well, it's because he's learned. You have to learn who you're taking face-offs
against. And Bergeron had the same thing. He had a first year. Statistically, and then it took off. What was he in? He was in the 40s, right?
49.
Hryckowian 58 this year.
Yeah, but he hasn't even made a lap around the league yet. I mean, it's too.
No, we're just looking at the rookie numbers.
Yeah,
just to see,
that's what I'm saying.
Too early for these guys to say they're good or they're bad.
Right, but that's my point is that all these guys that are unbelievable career face-off artists had pretty statistically low face-off win percentages.
They should.
In their first year.
Yeah.
And so with Hryckowian having almost a 60% rate as a rookie, to me, I was talking to Josh Bogard the other day about it, and we were having this. Actually, it was yesterday morning. We were having this conversation, and Josh had a great line. He said, "You're probably not leading with this storyline. Hryckowian good at faceoffs is not going to be the marquee. It's not going to be, hey, welcome to the pregame show, Justin Hryckowian's faceoffs."
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where you go, he's at a level that most guys take 5 to 10 years to get to as a rookie, and that's not normal. And so I think we should celebrate it.
It's his work ethic to me. And that's what
his whole career is going to be like this. Yeah. He is not going to. He's not one of these guys and I could use Bedard. And I don't mean to throw anybody, but he didn't come in here with, all the skill and the talent. He has to work. So many of us had to play tonight's game, just so that I could have my name on the board to play the next game.
Yep.
That's the mentality that you have to have. And unfortunately, there's some players that come in and think that they deserve to be in the lineup the next night. And for the most part, the guys that make all the big dough, they are going to be in the lineup tomorrow night. And that's mainly because the owner's calling and saying, listen, I'm paying him $14 million, and why is he sitting in the stands? I need him on the ice.
Yep.
And you want to say that he needs to be in the player. And then there's those kind of players. But for the most part, there's 60% of these players in the league, 60, 70% of the players in the league. They have to play every game to make sure that they get their name on the board the next night.
Yes.
But that's why they play for a long time.
And
because it's in you.
And it's already, and I'm glad you said that because that's exactly my second thing I heard was him talking about him coming up in the USHL and playing
and
those different
using
leagues
face-offs
and being like, hey, I played in that league, which if anyone who's played in it or watched it, it's not the most skilled league in the world. There's not a lot of playmaking. He talked about every game's a 2-1. You have to play physical. You got to play the right way. And he talked about learning that, then learning it in college as well. I mean, colleges, you have to play that way. You cannot play a high skill game or you're going to get slaughtered by bigger physical, older teams nowadays. But I just think that just tells you all you need to know about Justin Hryckowian. All the stuff he's talking about that built him to this point. You know, he's crediting old coaches that other guys maybe wouldn't think to even talk about. And I think that goes with what you're talking about, Luds. The Bedard, Celebrini, whoever else, they believe, and for rightfully so, that they can think themselves around the game a lot. They have the skill to react when they need to. But in something like a face-off, Celebrini's probably thinking, I got to watch. I don't know this. I'm just saying, got to watch a bunch of film to figure out exactly where I put my stick to get this. Justin Hryckowian doesn't give a shit about any of that. Yeah. He just says, I'll watch a little film. I'll know what this guy's going to do, but I'm going to come out here and I'm going to beat you to this puck.
Celebrini, 49% on the face-off circle. Not bad, but
60.
Jordan Staal, his rookie year, he had 29 goals in 81 games in Pittsburgh. He had a 37.1 face-off percentage. In fact, he didn't get to 50 for a season until his 6th year as a pro.
Yep.
And he's one of the standards, right? When you think of, I need to send a guy out to win a draw, Jordan Stahl's
especially
big, strong.
And Brind'Amour, playing under Brind'Amour, I talked about a lot when Logan came back into town with the Hurricanes. He was working with Brind'Amour for 20 minutes at morning skate just to work on the face-offs. I just think it's going to be the way Justin Hryckowian's career goes, and that's going to be fun as hell to watch. That's personally for me. I love watching those players do that because they always have something to prove, and they're always going to play the same way. And that can be a player. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but Justin Hryckowian could be a player that we see play for the Stars for 12 years because that's how he plays the game. Radek Faksa, guys that just do the same thing.
Luds, I'm not saying that he's Brendan Morrow because I think Morrow had way more skill in his game than people will give him credit sometimes because of how hard he played. But do you see some of Morrow's tenacity in the way that Hryckowian approaches his game?
Yeah, I think so. And I think since you bring up Brendan, I would encourage, and I did this with Johnny Erskine too. I kind of said he needed to watch Darian Hatcher play. You know,
Erskine's a big boy too.
Yeah. And I just that. But anyway, I would be telling Rissy here, pull up some film of Brendan.
Go watch him
and
play.
Just watch him.
Yep.
Watch how he plays in front of the net. Watch his intent to get to certain areas, which he's already has that, I think. I'm not, and he would actually be, again, if I was up here, I would ask Brendan to come in and be Joe Pavelski.
Be a mentor,
Yeah, because I think that would be a good, Brendan fought more, and that not that Ritzy wouldn't, and I think Brendan.
And there was more in the game when he was playing too.
Yeah.
There's not as much fighting now.
Yeah,
as
it just seemed that, and Brendan wanted to hurt you when he fought, you know what I mean? And he knew that. Very similar to some other guys, he knew that he wasn't a heavyweight, but that didn't bother him.
No.
But that's why his career was a little bit shorter too, because of injuries and things.
I just think of his hit in right before the quadruple overtime or whatever that they won the power play.
Are you not seeing?
I'm not, but I know exactly what you're saying.
Wrapping it up.
Kendra is asking you desperately for a Joe Pavelski ding.
As you're over there yelling at us.
We'll get to that, and we have more Sam sentiments and super chats.
Whatever, make me a bicycle clown.
Why are you yelling at me on the show?
Oh, that's another why are you? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah. Why are you yelling at me?
I got it. That's great. Am I talking or you?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering what we're doing
here. You guys
here.
not look at
Let's
the text
talk about,
messages I
No,
sent?
you threw me off with the second one because I always look at the third.
Well,
we never know if
second.
they're real anyways, because a lot of times you send another one saying, I made a mistake on that.
Once in a while that happens.
Once in a while.
What I need you guys to look at is this week and maybe next week, we only have the one block of recorded.
We have live ones.
There's 2 breaks of live ones this time.
I want to talk about...
Which our fans said they missed the live reads.
They already missed.
I'm going to guess. Die Hard.
Die Hard sale.
Oh, yes. Die Hard sale. Look at that. 60% off for the big game over there in the 925.
What's the big game?
I don't know. I think it's Huberdeau. They're going to go play 60% off of our gear, Die Hard membership, or our Die Hard membership. When you become a Die Hard, you get all kinds of cool stuff, like all of the writing across the networks or across the teams, all of the writing without ads, so it's easier to do. You get 20% off merch, 20% off events. We're going to have another event coming up, I'm telling you right now, because the last one was awesome, just like they all are with us. And you get exclusive things like when we put something in the Discord as a diehard only sale, or even when it's not diehard only, you get to hear it first and you get to buy it so you don't miss out. So alldls.com/diehard.
All right. Speaking of events coming up, we actually have an event on Saturday, and we were a little dicey about whether or not Sam was going to make it, but I think he's going to.
Oh,
now.
hell yeah.
What? How
Get
about
some
this? Wild
lamb
Fork Foods
meatballs.
Meat and Seafood Market coming up on Saturday, noon to 2 Central Time, in case you're curious, at the Louisville location, which is over off of 121 in Josie Lane.
Is it by the lake?
I think it's really close
beauty.
to Lake Louisville.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Swimming
it's on the other
after.
side of the
It's
highway.
right, sort of Louisville, the colony area.
All right, we're going to
So,
take a dip.
Yeah, we've got, I believe they're making a
Or
special
wait, are
chili.
they? Is it near the colony?
Yeah.
Oh, no. So it's on the other side. That
That's
I just said it was on
Lud's-
the other side.
that's his neck of
I
the
used
woods.
to live over
Donkey.
there. Yeah.
So they're
Over
going to
by
make some
Grandscape.
really big game menu items, including, I believe, a type of chili Casey said he was doing. So come see us. You get free food. They're literally sampling
And wings.
their offers. Wings, that's right.
Lamb and turkey meatballs, I think is what he
Oh,
said.
I'm
Or
gonna eat a few
bison
of those.
meatballs, bison chili.
Bison chili, was
Chili,
that what it was?
maybe.
And you can also browse and shop in their store because they have some of the best meat, seafoods,
It was really good.
desserts, which Lud's dropped a bunch of, unfortunately.
I'm a big wing guy.
No, I was booby trapped.
Did you see the pictures?
You drop stuff on?
No, I didn't. I opened up the fridge when I got
You
here the
didn't
next day,
see?
Oh, and it fell.
and 2 cherry pies came sliding out of the fridge and landed
did you
on
sing
the
that?
floor.
other
Did you
one?
at least sing some more?
No, I
after
sent
that?
them. I sent them to Ryan in case he wanted to make fun of me.
We'll
so.
see if we can pull that one up.
Love that.
Oh, Brian is super bummed. We have a wedding. He would be there with
Yeah,
us.
me too.
So Kendra will not be, and Brian will not be joining us for. They'll be otherwise they'd be up at the Wild Fork appearance. But come say hi to us.
Hey,
It
I
should
would.
be a lot of fun.
I would skip it.
skip the wedding.
Yeah. If I
It's
had
not
if I
their
had Wild
wedding.
Forks, I'd skip my
It's
wedding
not
for
their
some
wedding.
Wild Forks tasting.
We just want Kendra to come up with more cheesecake because that's so good. And Sam looked at Kendra and went, "I don't even like cheesecake, and this is pretty
Yeah.
good."
Well, she gave me it was Butterfinger cheesecake, and then she gave me an extra Butterfinger to put through the middle of it.
Which
So
that won you over.
Yeah. That's
All
easy.
right. More
There's
thoughts. There it
Luz.
is. Look
All
at
right.
that, Sam.
Oh man,
before I
you
even
did
got
it.
here the other
You
day.
really did it.
But nothing hit the Bud Light.
Well, that's good.
Nothing.
And those are all pies from Wild Fork.
No, it's just 2 of them.
But those are from Wild Fork.
Yeah, those are the Wild Fork
and
ones.
fortunately, we lost some of those.
Fork in them.
The other cheesecake that was still in there. Ryan and I had another piece last night during the
That doesn't
game.
look good, Luds.
No. Okay, so let's finish off the Sam sentiments here. Actually, before we do, Ryan, we have a couple super chats, so let's
big
do
one.
those. We have, I think, 3.
Ooh.
So the first one is from Harry, who loves our badges, with a. This is the Hatcher in Year After the Cup. I was waiting for the Bing Bong, but I never heard it, so that's all right. Happy birthday.
Bing bong.
There it is. Richard Matvichuk and
Yeah.
Roger Staubach. Is this Maddie's birthday today?
Apparently so. If somebody's saying it, I can't believe Maddie didn't send me a text message
It is,
already
I
and
saw it.
remind me.
I was going to
saw
say,
it on
would you
my-
tell you,
feeling
hey,
pretty
it's my
bad about
birthday?
Hey,
Yeah, I
excuse
think
me, it's my
I'll
birthday.
see him though this weekend.
Oh, is
those
he going to
guys.
be sledding too?
No.
Oh,
They'll
for the Blaine.
Oh, sorry, that's next weekend.
Wasn't
Yeah,
it
we'll
just
be in
Daryl's
Minnesota.
birthday too? I think he wished himself a happy birthday on the
Razor.
podcast.
Yeah, he did. He just said
Who does?
he
Daryl.
Razor mentioned something on the Stars pod.
He said happy birthday to
on
me.
his- yeah, he
Oh, well,
he wished himself
said
a
all
happy-
the time.
I know. Ryan, look at who's this guy? Ryan Vodder's 49-48. That's like Ritzkovian
Oh.
and
It's Morpheus.
I don't remember who 48 is.
Happy birthday, Harry Wagstaff.
Happy birthday, Harry. So apparently it's Harry's birthday.
Yes,
your
he shares
barber?
the birthday.
No, Harry is. We don't need no stinking badges. You met him on Saturday.
We don't need no stinking badges.
Oh, there you go, Harry. And then we have a Robertson and a Bork from Ardell. If Guerin calls Robo in an injury situation, does 21 just let it go to voicemail? I'm only half joking. Also, Maverick Bork looks confident. I was impressed with his sandpaper last night. Why are the lines working now? Thoughts on any of those?
Rewind the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be first, we've talked about it in the beginning.
We talked
why the
especially
lines are
about
working.
Duchene and Benn, but
Well, the other
with-
lines are working because you have superstar talent up there, but they've got guys that are meshing.
But Bork is playing well as the
Yeah,
third
Bork's-
guy with that pairing.
The other thing is, so I was thinking this is all good stuff, right? But you go back and you look at this. How'd we do against Tampa?
In the game against Tampa?
Yeah.
Not good.
Okay. How'd we do against Carolina?
The game in Carolina, here they played really well back in November. In Carolina, that one was not good.
Yeah. So the St. Louis's and these are there. Hey, a win is a win.
Played well in
Confidence and
Vegas.
things like that. Vegas has got their overtime and their shootout record is better or bigger than their wins.
That's
you know
true.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
They played well in Utah.
Yep.
I like the Utah game.
Yeah, we lost 1 and 1, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, they deserve to win that 1 and 2, the 2-1 game.
Yep.
I'm just saying that there's a pocket of these games in the last 15 games that they're not playoff teams. Well, it doesn't matter, but
boy, you've looked at the March schedule. There's lots of,
but that's my point.
Yeah.
So we're talking about all this stuff, which is great. It's just that when we're doing all this stuff, now is the important time coming up.
Yes.
And this is where you can kind of separate something from the herd. If it
Hetherington.
What about Dylan Hetherington?
48.
Oh, that's right.
Came all
Second
full
time
circle.
we've talked about him today.
Good non sequitur. Dylan Hetherington.
No, that wasn't. That was
I
a
thought you said
callback.
Edmonton. I was like, no, we haven't played them lately.
No.
Let's talk about the Olympics real quick. We'll spend a lot of time talking
got
about the
some
Olympics
goaltending
when the
issues.
games start. The games
Surprise.
for the men's tournament specifically, the women started today.
Yeah. U.S.
US won today?
5-1 win over
5-1.
Czechia. Hillary Knight, still ridiculous at hockey.
Hannah Bilka, local,
Yep.
right?
I
Played
think
here in
she
that.
scored.
Did she get a goal?
I thought. Maybe
Okay.
not.
But we'll be
Somebody
keeping an
got
eye on
two.
that. The men's
3.
tournament doesn't start until the 11th. The U.S. plays the 12th. But Jake is on his way there now. He insisted that he wanted to be part of the opening ceremonies tomorrow, which if you're an Olympian, I would want the full experience.
Yeah, it'd be so
right?
cool.
I wouldn't want to just come chartering in later and show up, play a game, and leave. Like, I want the whole thing. Well, before we talk about the flag bearers, because there are 3, do you think that we're going to see a possibility of Robertson or Wyatt Johnston being added as injury replacements? And, of course, the big one is Braden Point with Canada right now. Saw Pierre LeBrun and Chris Johnson
Losing
of
all
the
their
Athletic.
Tampa guys.
They're saying that has they what did they say? They're not going to bring extras.
Not going to bring extras
so they have
to
to
the
make a
tournament. So
decision.
it's got to make a decision tomorrow, basically today or tomorrow, because I think the teams are leaving. You are saying
I believe
Sunday.
they are supposed to meet in New York Friday, so fly into New York,
Yeah,
and then
so, I mean,
Saturday.
really, we're talking today,
So,
tomorrow.
Luds,
they got to make that decision.
If you're thinking about like for like
Most of the other
changes,
guys
right?
are flying to New York on Friday, and then the full charter over to Italy from New York is on Saturday. Jake went to 6
So it is
a.m.
on
this
Saturday.
morning for the opening ceremonies.
Perfect. So, Luds, you talked about Bennett being a similar type player to Sorelli with why he was the injury replacement.
Yeah.
So Braden
I think Bennett should have been there to start with. If you're,
fair, and I agree.
but
Okay,
Cooper
so
probably
but
won a
with
couple
Braden
guys.
Point, that's a different profile.
Yeah.
Is that a
Pretty
guy
good player in the
Wyatt,
bumper
or is
on
that
your
a
power
Mark
play.
Shifley? I mean, there's some very deserving players that could be.
I
That
think
replacement
if
if he doesn't play.
I mean, if you want to look at a guy that plays the bumper position and can put pucks in the net on
sense,
the
right?
power
He
play,
is the
I mean,
master
he's
at
that guy.
quick release shot from the point, from
of
the
course,
bumper. From
but
Kucherov.
I do think that if you're asking about Shifley, if you mention him, I would think that, and he seemed super disappointed.
very.
So I would think if they were going, but Point is fine apparently. Point's been skating, just like Hughes. Hughes has been skating. They didn't even want to play
And
him in the
that's-
game, which is kind of cool for the organizations because they're saying, we know this is important to you, and we want you to be ready when you go over there.
Do you think it'd be
And so-
different if New Jersey was in a better playoff position? And they're not in a playoff, but like meaning that you want him to go over and you're supportive, but if Jack Hughes is hurt and he tries to play and he ends up happening what Matthew Tkachuk did last year, where Hughes is completely
I think when you have
Right?
your superstars who are your franchise players, you
Make 'em
kind of
happy.
what they want to do.
Yeah.
If they're kind of leaning
you
this
just
way,
support him.
you do.
Fair.
Yep.
And I know you love it when I bring up soccer, but there are international break windows throughout the soccer season.
I don't know one soccer player that could actually break a window.
Okay,
I don't think
you
they
mean
could.
just breaking a window or kicking a ball through it?
Not kicking.
Cristiano Ronaldo has some pretty nice thighs.
Yeah, there's some pretty big
could break some
athletic
windows.
dudes.
Apparently, I bet you though, the kid from Penn State can break a window because he broke a jaw. So I don't know if a soccer player.
Nice
could.
segue.
So,
I figured
But
that's
no,
what
in the international, there are international breaks where you get called up to your national team during the regular season, and so they have this quite a bit. There's always a bit of a push and pull in soccer between the clubs and the federations, right? The national teams, right? Because you aren't allowed to hold them back, but you're concerned about your team and your season, and they're concerned about their country, and it has those same things. You want to coexist with USA Hockey, with Hockey Canada, etc., because it's good for the sport, but there's not always aligning interests there.
Especially with the league. The league hates this.
Yeah.
The league hates
But the
Olympics.
players,
But the
I mean, they're
players
there
and
because the
the
players
fans love it.
This is all part of the CBA.
In the CBA.
Yep.
And it's been how many years? I mean, they missed last 3.
Yeah, I think
Something like
so.
that?
Oh no,
It's been 2014.
Yeah, 2014.
So
was last year.
it's literally 12 years
3
ago.
tournaments. Yeah. Although Miro Heiskanen did play in 2018, which I thought was funny. I almost forgot he played.
He played in
He was right
Pyongyang.
before. Yeah, it was right before he came here.
In Korea.
Yep. He was one of very few that
Because-
came immediately into the NHL after that.
He wasn't playing in the NHL.
wasn't in the
yet.
NHL
That's
yet.
wild. I
Yeah.
forgot that too.
Yeah.
We'll talk Gavin McKenna and some of the other NHL news and notes tomorrow. But I did, since we're talking Olympics, Leon Draisaitl for Germany, David Pasternak for Czechia, and Nino Niederreiter from Switzerland have been named their country's flag bearers for tomorrow's opening ceremony.
That's cool.
Which is supposed to start at 2 p.m. Central Time. Jake will be walking in that. But I mean, I can't think of a much higher honor than being the standard bearer for your nation at an Olympics with all those great athletes.
It's gonna be pretty cool. I'm excited to watch it. We'll have a lot of time to talk about the Olympics tomorrow and then next week, obviously leading up to it and during the Olympics. But there's some cool stuff. I mean, just looking at Lindsey Vonn doing her rehab with a
Squats with
ruptured ACL.
Torn ACL.
It's motivating to see what
Just
they'll
remember,
do.
you
to
only
play.
need an ACL to move laterally. If you're up and down the straight, you're fine.
She's good straight
Downhill. Go down the hill, no turns, crash through. No, we hope Lindsey's all the best. But we'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place, 2 p.m. Luds, Sam, Ryan, myself, and Sean will be here tomorrow.
Nice.
So we will have the full show to wrap up the week before we don't see Luds in person again for at least 2 weeks. And who knows what those two guys are joking about. I'm not even going to worry about it.
You're such a dick.
Yeah, I know. Well, anyway, big thank you. Oh, yeah, thank you, Ryan. Before we leave, Jason Robertson. I just wanted to share a stat I saw from the NHL stats engine last night. 200th career NHL goal. He's the second fastest in franchise history. Only Dino Ciccarelli, who did it in 381 games, got to 200 goals with the franchise faster than Robo. And Robo's the 9th fastest U.S.-born player. I'm really curious, Luds. I don't know how to look this up unless I ask somebody where Brett Hull would be in that 200 goals, how quickly he did, because he's not quote-unquote U.S.-born. But that's a who's who. And then I'm sure there's some fans looking at that going, why isn't he playing for Team USA? So
only you.
Austin Matthews, man.
Good job, Jason.
338 games.
200 goals. And if he doesn't end up getting sent to Italy, hope he enjoys going to the Cayman Islands.
Is that where he's going?
Yeah, he's going to have some fun. All right. For Luds, Sam, Ryan, I'm Owen. Thanks for joining us. We will see you tomorrow here on DLLS.
Kim, I had nothing to. Oh, I was ready. Oh, I thought you were doing the other one.
He's eating an owl.
Oh, he's
We all silly like the mayor.